Now, unfortunately, like I said, not everyone is going to awaken. It's just not going to happen. This is human nature, and we've got free will, and so not everyone is going to awaken by their own choice. And at this point, you can probably see who those people are in your life. You have to just kind of let that go. And I know it's hard because you're an empath. But we have to find a way to let that go. Not everyone is meant to wake up. But, they're still being given every opportunity. It's, like I said, it's the choices we make every day. And the fact is, those people who are not going to awaken, their cold-heartedness is actually spurring the awakening of those who are going to awaken. Everything is helping. Every little piece of it helps. So we're right on track for everything that is supposed to happen. It's just that we are now in an acceleration of the process. And you all are coming out the other side of this. I've been getting messages this week for several people about how they're coming out the other end of this. And that's great on a personal level, but also it means you're close to, it's time to go to work. So just know that all of this served a purpose. And most of you as empaths, HSPs, starseeds, there's not really anything you have to do other than maintain your vibration, maintain your light. So I'm coming to the messages, but I have to say the first few are a part of what the topic is this week. They're connected, so it's part of Sunday service, but it's also part of the messages, if that makes sense. So I have to talk about this. As people continue to heal, I'm just going to say the toxic parts of religion, organized religion, are going to start to crumble. I was getting the new Pope, was it Pope Leo? That sparked a lot of it. He's sparking a lot for Catholicism. And I don't want to get into religions and who's good and bad, and that there's good and bad in all of it. But there's certain religions, and in every area it may be different, but it's become more about power than actual worship. Do you know what I mean? This is so hard to do, but they make me feel like I have to talk about it. So, I'm getting that it has to, most of the organized religions, they have to fall apart. They have to implode. It has to all fall apart. There's been many times where things have been exposed and nothing has happened, and for everything, it's all accelerating now. It's like, we've given you these chances, take these chances. Well, we didn't, so now it's like, well, we got to get here, so we're rushing through it all. Just, I think that's all I want to say about it, because it's dangerous territory. But it all has to fall apart, because we eventually need to start with a completely clean slate. We can't be building from those corrupt old systems. We can't keep just putting a Band-Aid on it and marching on. And again, the chaos that we're in as a collective, it's actually what's pushing all these things to the surface. In my opinion, Christianity has long been due for a reckoning because of the history of its, I'm just going to say, colonization. There's so much corruption in organized religions in general. And so many, horrific cases of abuse and crimes have been committed under the umbrella of, organized religion. It's long overdue. So be on the lookout for that. I think I just want to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that there. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to answer someone's question. And if you don't want to hear politics, skip to probably the next video. But I was asked about MTG, we'll just say that. That she has been sort of making the rounds on, we'll just say, non-Republican stages. Specifically, someone saw her on The View and said she's sort of on the warpath and she's sort of switching sides. And so the question was, is she having an awakening? To that I say very early stages. Very early stages. I think that going back to when she heard the Epstein victims speak, it shook her. It kind of woke her up a little bit, and she's in the very beginning of her awakening. She's still not seeing or taking any accountability. She's still, what she's doing is still very self-serving. A lot of us kind of accidentally fall into our awakening, right? We weren't intending to. One thing led to another, and that's what's happening with her. Right now, she's, like I said, she's still very self-serving. It's politically motivated. She got where she is by being shocking and getting the attention of, wherever you stand, I'm sorry, but that one side likes the shock and awe of things. And that's what she did, but now she's losing some of that. And so while I think she is actually interested in the Epstein files being released, she also sees it as a way to try to salvage. Like, she doesn't want to go down with the ship. She sees the ship's going down, and she sees she's getting thrown off the ship before it even goes down. So it is still self-serving. I would say she's not to be trusted if she suddenly tries to run on a different ticket. She's still self-serving and still not taking any accountability. But she is in the very, very beginning stages of her awakening. So I'm actually getting that it's going to be pretty slow because she's still pretty egotistical and self-serving. She's not fully there yet. But that, that's to be expected from somebody that she's so deeply ingrained in the cult. She's just beginning to wake up. She's not there yet, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Well, if I'm going there, I may as well keep going. Like I said, skip to the next video if you don't want any of political stuff. I keep getting heavily outside influences beginning to step in. I know that I don't know how to say this safely. Look, there are groups, committees, boards, or whatever around the world. I know it seems like the U.S. is the end-all be-all, but other groups from other countries are beginning to step in. Already the UN is starting to do stuff. It may feel like we are alone in this, but we're not, because other countries are heavily affected by what's going on with us. So I'll just say that other groups are stepping in. Other things like the UN and whatever else are stepping in. I got the tariffs are going to have to be rolled back. I never feel safe saying stuff about this. Jack Smith is becoming important again, coming out swinging. And okay, I have to say this. Okay, so think back to last November and waking up the day after the election and being like, there's no way this happened. There's no way this happened again. And I have this entire year been like, I can't believe we're just letting this happen. We know this is not real. Like, it wasn't real the first time this guy was elected. It's certainly not real this time. Like, why are we not doing anything? There's a renewed interest in looking into that on both sides. And something having to do with this past week, the election this past week. Like, I'm sorry to say, it was pretty much a blue wave, right? So how did we go from the blue wave midterms when he was elected last time, then he gets elected again, and we've got another blue, like, we've been blue. How the hell did he get elected twice? There's a new, renewed interest in looking into that, and, you know, something happened, and both parties are now going to look into it, some to save their ass, and some genuinely want what's right, but I don't want to get deep in that. So just know that we're getting back into that. No, I guess I have to keep going with this. This is going to pick up momentum. Looking into elections and what happened. That's going to gain a lot of momentum. Sorry, I need a drink. Excuse me, and it's all, again, divinely timed. And I'm getting that I need to say, when I get all frazzled, because I'm like, I don't want to do political things, I have to, because that's a part of this whole shift that we're in. A lot of things that are happening politically is what's sparking a lot of shifts, a lot of growth, a lot of realizations, a lot of awakenings. It's all part of it, and that's why I guess I keep getting things about it. And I don't want to do politics, but I guess I have to, because it's all part of this big thing we keep talking about, that we keep going through, and what, you know, the rest of the collective is going to go through. Like, something sparks change, and this is all part of it. But this is going to get a lot more momentum, and I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, it was all manipulated, internally, externally. Other countries are involved, but yes, lots of cahoots going on. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for the political stuff, and I'll start a new video for the regular collective messages, so that if somebody wants to skip this, they can. Suffice to say, everything happening that feels so horrible is all part of this great shift that we're going through, and all part of what you've been preparing for all this year, to help everybody else who's gonna wake up later. To help them see through the storm, because they're going to be awakening, and like I said, there's going to be people who don't, and so it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for these guys, because we kind of had some forewarning, and, you know, the last couple of years, these people have no idea what's going on. It's going to be rough, so I will leave that there and start a new video for the rest of the messages.